Hello, everyone. Welcome to our live stream. We stream every week on Wednesday, 1 p.m. EST to discuss everything that has anything to do with Google search, SEO, and AI visibility. That includes a lot of platforms, and we're still all collectively figuring that out. I'm Smari. I have been an SEO for more than 20 years. Now I'm the co-founder of my very first agency in those 20 years called Marketing. We are New York based, very boutique, custom strategies, all of that fun. I'm terrible at scaling, so I roll as I can. With me today and always, April, our director of social. Luckily, today's topic is right up her alley, so I will not have to talk that much this time, but also she will be bringing your questions to the spotlight, so ask them anywhere you're watching us from, and we will try to answer everything. Today's topic is exactly in the intersection between SEO and visibility, and also everything else, including social media, reputation management, all of that fun. It is Reddit. We discuss Reddit a lot on these streams exactly because it is such a hot topic. It is ranking everywhere in Google. It is being cited by just about all LLMs. I think the only one that doesn't like Reddit that much is Claude, but I may be wrong. Definitely ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, they all cite Reddit for just about any prompt, especially if it's commercial intent prompt when someone is trying to research products and brands. So we have been on Reddit for many, many years, especially April. She has been on Reddit for about 16 years. I'm on Reddit also for about 10 years, but I have not been that active until a year ago when I set up our own subreddit. By the way, check it out. It is called SEO for AI, and there we curate everything that on SEO for AI. We try to be very careful with curating trends that matter, news that matter, announces, status, tactics, answer questions. We try to be very, very focused and useful there. So please subscribe to our subreddit to know what's going on in SEO for AI, or however you want to call it. Could be GEO, AEO. We're still figuring those abbreviations out. So we have lots of experience on Reddit, and luckily we can talk from first-hand experience here on problems that businesses face on Reddit. And the biggest problem with Reddit is that it tends to be very negative. Overall, Reddit is not a very kind place. If you've ever been on Reddit, chances are you've got in trouble at least a few times. And it's you as a person. Everyone gets in trouble on Reddit. I do that regularly without even trying. With business accounts, it's even harder because in many cases, people will perceive anything a business does on Reddit as promotional, even if a business is trying to be very ethical and non-promotional and helpful. So it is not a kind place for sure, but also, and what I always explain to clients, because they take all that negativity on Reddit very personally, brands get very offended with those angry threads on Reddit for sure. There is no motivation for people in most cases to share good experience on Reddit. Most people are angry enough to go to Reddit to post anything, and that's why in most cases the negativity dominates any brand presence on Reddit. It's not easy to fix or shift for many reasons, one of them being that most businesses do not even know how to set up their accounts there, and when they try, they get suspended right away. So this is a very tricky situation when someone is discussing you on Reddit in a negative way. That becomes, first of all, LLM food. They feed on that negative feedback and then report it back to their users. But it's also that is a newer problem. But the older problem with Reddit is that it ranks so incredibly well, and that negative feedback haunts all the branded queries. And branded queries are the most important search keywords for any business, because if someone is taking a trouble to search for your name, that means you already invested in that visibility, whether it was an ad, whether it was SEO, newsletter, you name it, influencer marketing. Many people hearing about a brand and searching for it are very close to becoming a customer. This is the most bottom of the funnel situation here. And when they search for something like that, and they will see negative threads on Reddit, they may change their mind without even clicking that thread. And I can show you an example of what we tend to work with all those situations. So these are Reddit packs. In most cases, they consist of 3 threads, and you can search for more by clicking more results on Reddit. If someone is being very unhappy, they tend to use words like horrible, scam, avoid, and they also use those all in caps. And imagine that is ranking for your brand name #1. The problem we are facing here is that not many people will even give that brand another chance. They will not even click that thread. And if they do, chances are they will never become your customers. And in many cases, this is, by the way, I changed the brand name, but this is the results that we were dealing with one of our customers and finally succeeded. But there's no easy way to approach this situation. In most cases, what people are coming us for is the request how we can get this removed. Well, we don't try to remove those threads right away. I don't believe in taking Reddit by storm. I don't believe rushing anything on Reddit for one main reason is that it can backfire and make the situation much worse. There are several options to get a thread removed, which I know of. First of all, that is getting in touch with moderators of that subreddit. And trust me, in most cases, they will not be happy. I've seen subreddits with the wall of fame for brands that tried to contact the moderators to get something like this removed. They will openly talk about that. They don't like it, and it can make your situation much worse because you will no longer be welcome in this subreddit because you already did something wrong. So I would not start my Reddit strategy with this step. Second, and one of most unethical ones, is filing a DMCA report with Google to get something like this removed. I know there are companies that are doing this. It's not, first of all, it's very dangerous because who knows how Google reacts to those. Now they are going to be much more careful with the MCA requests because there is a huge scandal on how they are being manipulated. If you are not following those news, I think it was posted either yesterday or the day before over at Search Engine Roundtable. Check that out. I'm sure Google will react to those, and you can get in trouble overall, not just for your branded queries. And the third approach here is to private message the actual original poster of a thread like this. And again, who knows what the situation is going to be, because many customers are unhappy enough. And when you also ask them to remove those threads, they may get even unhappier and publicize that around Reddit again. So you will end up with more negative feedback. So what to do in these situations? And this is the most common question we get for obvious reasons. First of all, no rush. Unfortunately, with Reddit, you cannot rush things up because it is dangerous for all those reasons I just described. Secondly, start working on your presence on Reddit before you do anything else. We take at least 3 months of official presence set up for clients. That includes the official account and the official subreddit. We are trying to move very slowly, very ethically, very openly, not faking any feedback, not trying to farmer fish or whatever it's called, doing everything very slowly and very transparently. It does take time, but we represent clients on Reddit. We cannot take risks here. And I'm always trying to be very open about that with all of our clients. If you want to get in trouble, you try to make things very fast on Reddit. So with that, it takes, like I say, about 3 months to set up, just the setup period of before you can proactively start doing anything. The good thing about that is that for those 3 months, you can research, you can read, you can carefully join all those subreddits where you have a problem. You can assess the negativity of those threads. Many of those threads are very old. In that screenshot, it's 3 years old. Many of those issues discussed in that thread have already resolved themselves just because the product was developing. We very often deal with outdated pain points that do not exist anymore. And those can be addressed carefully with careful removal requests. We try not to bother the moderators as much as we can because, again, they own those spaces and we don't want any negative reputation from those people. In that way, in that case, what we did, for 6 months, we were developing the official presence and getting some rankings for the official subreddit because they start ranking for branded queries naturally. The more you work on your presence, the better the rankings. So once those are ranking, those Reddit packs become much more balanced, and this is the goal. Unfortunately, those horrible scam all in caps threads are the hardest to get rid of or replace or even lower somehow, make them less visible. Even if those are outdated, it's very hard because they are highly clickable. All people will click those titles, headlines, and that is a signal for Google, and it will keep that thread as much as possible. So once you have a more balanced Reddit pack going around Google for your branded queries, at that point you will have 1, maybe 2 very problematic threads to deal with. We don't try to remove all of them for sure. The more you try, the bigger risks you take. So instead of trying to go around Reddit and get everything negative removed, asking for trouble, you wait till those Reddit threads, Reddit packs are much more balanced, and then deal with the most problematic one. Like I say, even for biggest brands, usually it's 1 or 2. It's very seldom when we have to deal with dozens of them. And at that point, your first method would be carefully getting in touch with that original poster, that's a human being, and carefully tell them that what they experienced 2 years ago, 3 years ago, has been fixed, and inviting them to try the product again, give them that product for free, and change their opinion, which is exactly what we did in this case. And let me see how I can share the result. That customer has actually changed their mind and removed the thread. It's no longer ranking. And finally, our subreddit threads can be ranking right now for more visibility. There will still be threads from other subreddits for sure. I haven't seen a case where everything that you see ranking for a brand name from Reddit is on the official subreddit. Not going to happen. But dealing with the biggest problem and balancing those results is the key. You don't expect everything bad to go away, especially if those are a few years old. They will persist for some time. Keep working on your Reddit visibility, and you will control more and more of those. This is hard work, takes time. I think with this client, it was more than 6 months, and we still couldn't do anything with the most horrible thread until we finally fixed that situation with the actual customer, not with the moderators for sure. Always try not to bother moderators too much, because again, that is the worst case scenario. When they are angry with your brand, you will not be even allowed to that subreddit. We've seen cases when brand names are blocked on subreddits, when the domain is blocked on the whole Reddit because of all those attempts. If you value your brand just a bit, don't rush these things on Reddit, and try to be very careful and actually honest. Some of the bad feedback can be owned and explained. Some of it may have fixed itself, and some of them are real problems to actually fix. On the site, we know we managed to fix, like, balance one of our clients' situation on Reddit a lot when they actually fixed their delivery problems, and they hired more account managers to deal with the shipping and delivery, and we were able to change the huge negative sentiment on Reddit through actual fixing the pain point that we were dealing with. It's not usually the case. Like I say, there are all kinds of different negativity on Reddit. Some of it exists there and not fixable. We have a client whose community is so old, they are not happy with any change. Whatever happens with the product, whatever update is being introduced, they will not be happy, and they will always miss their old software that they were using 10 years ago. Unfortunately, there is nothing you can do here except for building visibility of positive things happening through your presence. Those are not some kind of negative feedback is just there and you own it. But in many cases, the situations are fixable, but not too fast. Maybe a year. If it takes a year, it takes a year of consistently providing good content, MAAs, discounts, whatever you come up with on Reddit, consistently doing something good for your community is a great way to shift the sentiment. First of all, the goal is not to remove negative threats. It is to shift the whole sentiment for LLMs to know that you are doing something right, and for people discovering you through Reddit and Google. So this is basically the quick case study on how we were working on Reddit, how we are dealing with Reddit reputation. Please subscribe ansmaria.com. This is where you can read the topic for every week we are discussing here, but also there are many more details in every episode there with relevant screenshots, tools, links, and whatnot. April, let's discuss some questions. I do want to give you some word as well, because you are actually dealing with this. I'm mostly reporting on that.
We talked about setting up like official subreddits for brands. Like, what sort of things are posted in those subreddits?
Well, yes, good question, and you will be able to answer in a moment. I'll just give a quick introduction on the overall strategy. Usually, it's a little bit about the brand. We need things like threads to curate good reviews that our clients can send to their customers and invite them, because positive reviews will not happen unless you invite happy people. It's unhappy people who find the way to post even if they're not asked. Unfortunately, happy customers have to be invited, and we create that space inside our subreddit for that to happen. But most of the content that we post is actually just useful, entertaining, engaging, some studies, statistics. April, you can tell us about your favorite content strategy for Reddit. How do you come up with it overall?
Yeah, since I've been on Reddit for so long, I've kind of gotten like a feel of what Reddit finds entertaining, while also like being relevant to the topic of the client. So it can be tricky with some clients who are really niche, but there's always a way to find like something that's like more universally appealing to share. Reddit really likes like historical stuff typically about, so you can find like, let's say you have like a finance brand, you can share stuff about like the origins of certain financial terms that are like related to the client's like field, and or like the origins of the history of like money and that kind of stuff. Like you can get like really creative with it. Um, Another thing that we like to do to tap into like the client's knowledge is we've had a lot of success with like AMAs, Ask Me Anythings. We've done that quite a few times now, and it always like generates a lot of questions on the thread, and actually gains some subscribers to the subreddit pretty often. Um, it's like really fun because the client gets to be a part of the community and share their expert knowledge. And as we've talked about before, like Google really loves expert knowledge and original knowledge, and so does Reddit. So those send like all kinds of great signals, and it shows that the client knows what they're talking about, and it shows that they want to help. So that's like a really good strategy to do. What else? Just like anything that could be really useful for the clients, or just Reddit as a whole. Like, not the goal of the subreddit is not to sell really; it's just to be like a community. So anything that can be like really helpful to the community you're trying to reach. You can also like, and then their questions, their feedback, their comments, you can actually like use them as like more opportunities to find like to create content that can answer those questions. Like it's a really great way to like just get really in there and figure out what like the pain points and the concerns, and then create content that like alleviates those or answers those. So while you might not be able to like erase the really negative threads that rank, you can start slowly building a more positive sentiment to balance it out, more positive situation, like just to really show that like the whole purpose is to really show that the brand is listening, the brand wants to be part of the community, the brand is taking all of the concerns, the negative threads seriously. Like one of the things that we start with is we'll go through all those negative threads and try to come up with try to get a sense of like what the really big problems are, and then we can address them slowly in the subreddit. So like you can control that space. So it just like gives you just like a really great opportunity to start shifting things in the right direction, really.
Absolutely. And yes, it's the first step we take for every client, not trying to remove anything, but actually try to dig deep into those negative threats and understand what it is happening and how that can be addressed in the subreddit, the way that it explains things. Many cases, negative things on Reddit happen because of the confusion. Brands do not, in my experience, many brands do not do a good job explaining things even on their own websites, and that always causes a lot of confusion and negativity on Reddit, including refund policies, or what happens next after I subscribe, or hidden fees like why do I need to pay upfront. In many cases, those are very good reasons and processes and explanations to all those pain points, but they're nowhere to be found. And that breeds more and more negativity. So instead of trying to chase everything that's being said about on you on Reddit, and that usually is something negative, you learn from that feedback. This is the first step. We meet with clients and discuss why these people are confused about this. And in most cases, there is a good explanation which they just fail to give on their website, and we work with them to create that. In many cases, we work not just with the subreddit, but with the website as well, where we suggest stuff being added to not only exist on Reddit, so those answers are easy to find on the website itself. So when you think about Reddit, and I think this is a hard lesson for most businesses, we've been spoiled by SEO for many years. When there is one island SEO team, they do their magic and something happens. No one knows exactly what. Well, those days are over. You cannot just look at search results and say, okay, this is what people know about me. No, those LLMs will find the most hidden threads that do not even rank, because they have other access, other ways to access Reddit, including API, all those agreements that Reddit provides content to those LLMs. So instead of trying to hide something which doesn't work at this point, even when you manage to do that, you address the whole reputation. And that includes, we look at all of these things. We look at Trustpilot, we look at the website itself, we look at Better Business Bureau, Yelp, whatever is there with the brand presence on it, where people can share feedback. We look at that as well, not just Reddit, to be able to understand. Sometimes on Yelp, you can find answers that do not exist on Reddit or website. And then we try to kind of consistently optimize all of those. Reddit is not an island, and what ranks for your business name is not the only thing you have to be worried about. It is, there are still, we do prioritize, definitely. I do prioritize organic rankings still, because that usually those are the threads that show up everywhere in LLMs and everywhere as well. But after you are done with your organic rankings, your job is not done. You have to continue working and fixing things and making sure you are consistently saying the same thing all around the web, because this is how AI visibility works. No longer 10 blue links that you can predict. They will cite and find more stuff about you that you were trying to hide. With that, we do have, let me just put this invitation here. Please join our subreddit, where we are talking about all of these things and how SEO is different from GEO, however you call it, how to use Reddit the right way, not to just try to manipulate it, but actually feed LLMs the right things about your brand without faking anything or doing illegal fake reviews. So join us there, ask your questions in that subreddit or anywhere you're watching us from. Subscribe to ansmarty.com. I do have to jump to my next meeting. Today is a crazy way. So we are ending a little bit earlier today. Next week, we will be back with another cool topic, which I will announce on Tuesday. So subscribe and see you next week. Thank you for so much
Hi.
joining us. Thank